Good afternoon, everybody. It's David Perlmutter from Quantum Listing. Glad you're here with us today for our webinar on how to use quantum listing for commercial real estate networking. Please feel free to ask questions throughout by putting them in the chat, and we'll get to them at appropriate moments. And let's get started. So here we go. So for those of you who are new to quantum listing gives your listings maximum exposure by offering a range of features so you can market your properties without breaking your budget, and you can post an unlimited number of listings with the ability to market them seamlessly on all forms of social media. Even better, there's no paywall for potential buyers and tenants to view your properties on our site. I was looking at this the other day, and I think about 68% of the traffic on our site is from people finding you and your listings on various search engines. And if we had a paywall, that would certainly cut down on the visibility and traffic that you get to your listings. So we think we made the right call there. Let's talk about today's agenda. We're going to show you how to share your profile and listings to social media today. We'll talk about our networks, the quantum listing networks and groups, and how to follow other members, how to use our chat feature. We'll talk about our network email blasts, and of course we will show you all these things on the site, and we will also be happy to answer your questions and tell you how to get in touch with us in the future should you need to. So thanks. So let's jump right into it. With quantum listing, you can share your profile via social media. And the way you do that is on your profile page, there's this icon that has 3 dots and 2 lines connecting them. And that is the universal symbol for sharing, apparently. And as you can see here, you can share your listings on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter from here. And when you're sharing your profile, it'll have a link back to your quantum listing profile page. That's what that means. I guess I can get caught up in jargon. And this last icon here is for you to be able to post your quantum listing profile on your website or your blog so that your listings on your website can be updated in real time as you update them on quantum listing without having to go to a designer and coder each time to do that stuff for you. And emailing your profile is we've added recently, and not only you'll be able to see that you can not only share it to 1 or 2 people at a time, but you can do it to your whole proprietary email distribution list really, really easily. So we'll show you how to do that as well. And what you're looking at now is listings, the social features on listings. So similar to what we just saw on the previous slide, there's the sharing icon. In this case, it's red, but you'll notice the 3 dots connected by the 2 lines. And you'll be able to see that you can share your listing to Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook, as well as share it via email, and also have it on an iframe so you can post it on your website. These other icons here, this is again that iframe icon. You can take private notes on any listings, yours and other people's. You can add listings to listing reports. Quantum Listing will create a PDF of your listing or anybody else's listing if you want it to, just by clicking that button. And you can, of course, export and download a PDF that you have previously uploaded. And then the next thing that we'll be talking about today is the quantum listing networks, and we'll go through all the different features of quantum listing networks. Quantum listing networks are a great way for you to stay abreast of what is happening in your market. Not only do you get to see the latest listings in the stream, but you can see the other brokers in your network, and we'll see how you can follow them if there are ones in particular that you want to really stay in touch with and be informed about what they're doing. And then we'll also cover quantum listing groups. And quantum listing groups are another great way to stay abreast of what's happening in your market. They're a little more versatile in that you can start your own group. When you start a group, you can make it public or private. A public group means that other people can join, that it's visible to other people. You can decide whether other people can invite people to it, and in public groups, people can join. If you want a private group that you have more control over, you can do that as well. And there's a group chat feature, which we'll talk about, which is a super way to communicate with those people in your groups and even market your listings through quantum listing that way. With the networks, there is something that we have called we can do network email blasts. And if you're really interested and ambitious, it's actually not so hard. We can set up a network for you, which would enable you to send network email blasts and invite people to join quantum listing so that you can email them through that, and also have the advantage of having more people on quantum listing to see your listings, and get the network effect. The network effect is not something we made up. It's something that is you see every day. When one person had a telephone, or two people, it wasn't all that useful, but the more people that got telephones, the more useful it became. And now everybody not only has a telephone in their home, but walks around with them all day. And the same is true for social networks and quantum listing networks as well. So, and then the last thing that we'll look at on the site is the social function, where you can follow other people and they can follow you back. So we'll get back to yeah, we're going to just go over to the website right now, because we can see all this stuff live and in person. And if you just got here a little bit late, don't worry, you'll be able to catch up because we're going to go through it on the website, and you can also see it on the replay if you want to. All right, so here we are on the Quantum Listing website, and we are on the Perlmutter Properties profile page. So in addition to having started Quantum Listing, I'm a commercial real estate broker, like all or most of you at least. And I started Quantum Listing because I was kind of frustrated with what was happening with the other listing services out there, and they were getting expensive and they're kind of customer unfriendly. They're great services in many ways, but if you are an independent broker like me and you have to pay for these services yourself, it gets kind of expensive. Plus, there were features that I thought that they were lacking, which hopefully you'll see what those are today, and you'll learn to appreciate them as much as I do. So thanks. So before we start going through these different features on the website, let me pause for a moment and see if anybody has questions. You can unmute yourself if you would like, or just put them in the chat box, and I'll look at them and give you credit for your excellent questions. So let me have a sip of water here. All right, well, while we were waiting for you to ask your questions, or just not have any questions, let's get going. So again, this is my Quantum Listing profile page. If I'm anywhere else on the Quantum Listing site, I get to my profile page by clicking the Head and Shoulders icon up here on the top right, and it brings you right back to your profile page. For those of you who are not yet on Quantum Listing, let me just point out a few things where that when you do join, I would highly recommend that you add these things. Add your logo and or a profile picture, add a bio, and also your website. You have to add your email address when you join. You can add your Skype as well, your licenses, and the other thing that is really a great thing to add is your business social media. There's a few reasons why you ought to do that. And the first reason, which is really important, is that it makes everything that you add to your profile is treated by search engines as content. And search engines love content. It's the thing that they crave most. And the more content you have and the better your content, the more likely it is that you're going to show on that first page, the all-important first page of searches. So let's see, oh, I got a request to make my screen bigger. I'll be happy to do that. Thank you for pointing that out, Ebony. Okay, and hello, Ron, who we talked to yesterday. So is that better? I hope so. I can probably make it one more tick bigger. Yes, okay, I can. All right. So add those social media links too, and because one of the things, when a lot of people who do come to our site, as I mentioned before, are coming directly to your profile page, and if they are a prospective customer, the more well-rounded and three-dimensional and the more information they can get about you by seeing all the stuff that you're linking to from your profile, the better chance that you're going to impress them with your amazing credentials and hopefully land them as a customer, whether it's a tenant, a buyer, a landlord, or a seller. So please do that. And the first thing I want to show you is our social functions here are how to share your profile to your social media. So I'm going to, I usually do LinkedIn, which I guess I can do that. And let's see, okay. So right now you see it's populated with my logo, and what I need to do is click down here to share it in a post, and I'm gonna write just something very brief. Check out Perlmutter Properties listings, and I could go on, and LinkedIn added this great thing where you can have where they suggest hashtags. So I just picked commercial real estate there, and then the next thing you do is just click post, and so it's super simple. Obviously, doesn't take long. You can write a more thorough, you know, comment, introduction to what it is. Maybe click below to see my listings or things like that. But for the sake of expediency and time, we will skip that for now. And let's see. We did have Ron Carbone. I see your comment about your bio, and we can talk about that offline later. But when you do want to edit your account to add those different social media things, oops, that was my inattention there. You just go to your, say, your YouTube channel if you have one, copy and paste the URL, and you put it there. Google Currents is Google's replacement for the old Google Plus. I haven't gotten a Google Currents account yet, but I guess this is a good reminder for me to do that. And same, you can add your LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. You can see that you can add the prefix HTTPS or HTTP if you want. It's not mandatory. When you do finish that and you add your bio there, when you do finish, make sure you hit save. And here it's asking me to confirm my password, which I did. Apparently I changed my password. Oh yes, I remember now. Okay, hang on. Okay. All right, so I didn't make any changes there, but all those things you can add there. And if there's anything glitchy with this, which I did have a comment about adding the license numbers, we'll look into that and see if we can help you out with that. All right, so now, so that you saw how to do LinkedIn, Twitter, really the same thing. What I was clicking there on was my link to my Twitter feed, sorry, for Promoter Properties. What I wanted to do instead was click the sharing icon and hit the Twitter icon here. And it will open up a new tweeting, I'm not sure, I guess it'll allow me to tweet, and you have to edit the message a little bit here. And here, have a look at Promoter Properties listings, and then I'll just hit tweet. All right, so, and you see it came in with my picture there and has my contact info, and if I click on it, it brings me right back to my QuantumListing profile page. So I don't think we need to go through it on Facebook right now because it's really just the same process, more or less. Actually, it is worth doing showing you one thing on Facebook, and that is that you probably, most of us have personal Facebook pages, and you're certainly welcome to paste that on, to share this to your personal Facebook page. But if you have a business Facebook page, it might be more appropriate to share it to that. But you can share it with your friends. Why not, right? It's nice to share. So, and if you do want to share it to your friends, you just leave that there. If you want to share it to a page you manage or your story, you can do that there. You can, okay, so if I wanted to share it to one of my pages, I go through the process here. So that's what I was looking for up here. Okay, so here's where I can share it on a page I manage. So I'm going to pick the Promoter Properties page there. So just know that you should be mindful of where it is that you're sharing on Facebook. If you have business pages, make sure it lands on there. If you don't, share it wherever you want. All right. So I'm not going to share that right now. All right. So that is how to share your profile. Now, with individual listings, you can do pretty much the same thing that we did with the profile with individual listings. So as you scroll down the page, to the bottom right of your featured picture is the sharing icon once again. Again, it's a red dot here instead of the other version of it. And you can see that you can email it, you can share it to LinkedIn, Facebook, or Twitter. These other two icons here are, the first one is to promote the listing on the Quantum Listing site, which means for $2.50 a week or $7.50 a month, you can have your listing show up at the top of searches in your market. This other one is advertise the listing on the Google. That means advertising it on the Google Display Network. And for $25, $50, or $100, you can have it show up on websites where you're in the markets where your customers, your target customers are. And there's a little display ads on the side, top or bottom of those websites. And it's for the only difference between the $25 and $50 and $100 is the number of days that the ad will run, and the number of views that you'll get. And hopefully, the more you spend, the more views and the more clicks you'll get. You get about 1,000 views for every dollar on these other websites, and you probably, for every $25 you spend, you average about 25 clicks or so. If it's a really attractive building, you've got a great picture, you may end up with more views, more clicks. Every market is a little bit different because it's an auction system. So, we can't say you'll get, if you spend X, you'll get Y. It's really, sort of a range of options. And in, more rural, less densely populated areas where there's not as much competition for those ads, there's a good chance that you'll get more views in that market than you would say in Los Angeles or Manhattan. So this is, a great way to share your listings on your social media. And, just like with what we saw with sharing your profile, it pre-populates the link back to your listing on Quantum Listing. And here, I'll just tweet this. And even though you don't see the picture there in the preview, it does show up here on Twitter. So another reason to have a really great picture on for your featured picture of your listing. All right, let's keep moving. And the next thing that we're going to do is look at the networks, quantum listing networks. So on your profile page on the left-hand side, for those of you that haven't joined yet and are new, oh, by the way, since we're going down here right now, listings, is everything you need to sort of control and add and archive your listings. Once, just like you can post the listings that you have, if you want to sort of crowdsource one of your customer requirements, you can post a want, and it shows up on the feed, and it will show up in searches as well on the internet. And it's a great way to get other people to help you out with what you're looking for your customers. So let's go. So enterprise is, if you have a company with multiple agents, you can add multiple agents in one account and managers to help with the workflow. So networks is really the next social feature that we wanted to talk about. So when you join Quantum Listing, we will assign you to a network. And we have networks for each of the states. And if you want, and typically the way we'll assign you is based on if you've added listings, where your listings are. If you don't have listings, we generally will do it by the area code of your phone number. And if, like many people, when they move, they don't change their phone number area code anymore because everybody just keeps their cell phone wherever they go. So if we get it wrong, you can contact us by finding the network that you wanted to be added to, and then just click connect. You actually notice perhaps that here is a network that is not a state, but in the name of a person, and Alejandrina wanted to set up a network of her own, and if you would like to do so, that is certainly a possibility, and there are all sorts of options that we can explore with you with that. You can become sort of a QuantumListing ambassador and invite people you know who you think would benefit from being QuantumListing members to join your network, and so that's a kind of a neat thing as well. So why should you look at your network? So I'm going to go back to my network. So let's look at the Westchester network. Westchester is, for those of you not familiar with it, is the sort of bedroom community for New York City. It's got lots of office buildings and a few small cities of its own, but primarily people know it as a bedroom community for New York. I used to live in Westchester when we moved recently to Connecticut, as an aside. So you'll notice, though, that in the networks, and also true in the groups, you'll find listings that aren't necessarily from that particular market, and the reason is that when somebody joins a network, they bring their listings with them. So this guy here, Brian Donovan, terrific broker from the Rochester area, does work all over New York State, and he joined the Westchester network, and he of course brought his listings with him. So that's why I see that. Here's one of my listings, which we just saw before. So you see, this feed are the listings that are most recently added or the most recently updated in the network. And you can also search through this and see the different members of who the different members of the network are. And if you click on their name, it will just show their listings. And so Barry's Endelson here is got a enterprise account also, so his brokers show up when you click on his name as well in their listings. By the way, if you click on the profile picture, or if they don't have a profile picture, the smiley face, that will take you to that individual's profile page, and you can see their listings there as well. So let me go back one more. So, and if you wanted to drill down, say you're in the Westchester network now and you just want to see the listings in White Plains, you can start typing it and then select it from the drop-down, and it will then just show you the listings in that particular community. You can further refine the search by asset type and trade type as well. So you can make it into a very manageable. If you want to save the listings to look at later, just click on the ribbon here. And then you can also add it to a report by clicking on the three dots and click add to report. And if you wanted a PDF of that particular listing, you of course can do that here as well. So we got down to 2 listings by refining the search, when originally in that search there were, I think, 8 listings, and in the whole network there are 600 listings. So it can be helpful to do that. You also can enter a chat with the network admin as well. So and that's the little chat icon. You'll see that on everybody's profile page. And in groups, we have group chats, and we're going to go to groups in a moment. But in this instance, it's really just to chat with the admin, and you can also, when you go to any individual's page, you can chat with them as well. All right, so let's go back to my profile page and scroll down to networks. So you can see with my networks, you're seeing all the networks that you're in, and network listings we just looked at. Network news tells you who's been active in your network and what they've been doing. So in this case, one was edited, a couple were edited by Joe Draghi. Richard Armstrong has been active. He was successful, it looks like, with one of his listings and deleted it. And he's editing some more, so he's keeping things nice and up to date. If we want to go and see what Richard has been up to, we can go to his profile and see a little bit more about Richard and his listings here. All right, so Richard, it's interesting to see he's from Florida, or his listings are in Florida, and he's part of this Westchester network. So, it's kind of, there is, that sort of that wiggle room, but again, it's a pretty helpful way to see what's going on in your market, or at least with the people. And the other thing to know is that, if Richard's taken the trouble to join the Westchester network, that he's got some kind of interest in what's going on there. So you might want to, when you do have listings that you would think appeal to him, you can send them to him, you can chat with him. So there's lots of ways that you can connect with that person, and eventually we'll get to how you follow those people. But first, we're going to go through QuantumListing Groups. And so groups, when you click on My Groups, you can see the groups that you're in. And if you look and notice the icons here, you can, so if it's one of your own groups, you can edit it. If it's a group that you're the admin for, I should say, you can enter the group chat, and you can also show the details of the group. So I'm going to click on Show Details here, and you can see the users in your group, the other QuantumListing members, their listings, and then the group chat. So let's go to users first. And this particular group is probably one of my little test groups. It is. Let's go to one that is a more active group. Okay, so let's stick with Westchester. Here you can see there are 70 members in Westchester, and and the other thing with groups is that you can join them yourself. You don't have to ask the admin to add you to the group. So you'll look at the users, and again, you can click on anybody's name and go to their profile. And David Richmond is a very active broker. He hasn't added his listings yet to QuantumListing. And then you can chat with any of these people on a peer-to-peer basis. And if we go back, you can send a group chat message to anybody. And one of the great things that we've added recently is the ability to, originally, actually, let me take half a step back. Originally, these were state wants groups where we were just encouraging people to post their wants. Then we added the wants section to QuantumListing, and we made the wants groups into have the wants groups so that they really could become a social marketing vehicle for you. So when you have a listing, you can add it to your group, and with a little marketing message and a hyperlink back to your listing, preferably on QuantumListing, but theoretically you could do it to your own website as well. So great way to, with very little effort, get your marketing message out to dozens and dozens of people. If you add that message to your group, you're probably saying to yourself, well, how are they ever going to know that that message is there? So if they're a member of the group, every day they'll get a digest of new, saying that there are new messages in your group with a link to go to the group and look at those messages. And if they're on the QuantumListing website, they can also go to the notification center up here, click on that. If there are new messages in your group, it will tell you here by having a little red circle with a number telling you how many notifications that there are, new notifications. So, it's the type of thing that you see, on Facebook or other social media websites that you use. So, it is a very handy way to get in touch with people, and it's included with your $79.99 or $89.99 membership, so it doesn't cost you anything. You also, when you get leads, you get an email with them if your membership is current, and then you can also find that here in the notification section as well. And if you click on it, it'll take you to your leads section, and you'll get to see all your new leads. So let's go back to groups. So group members, you can also see in group listings. So here's my group members, and clicking on their picture again takes you to their listings on their profile page. And then, of course, you can see all the group listings in one place as well. Should you join QuantumListing if you're not already a member and you want to, or you're already a member and you want to start your own group, it's very simple. You just click on the plus symbol here, and anytime you want to add something new to QuantumListing, whether it's a listing, a want, a new agent in your enterprise account, always look for the green plus symbol. So if you wanted to start a group, you just need to click that plus symbol, add it, give your group a name, describe the group, decide whether or not you want to allow members of the group to be able to invite other members, and then you can decide whether you want your group to be private, meaning people who aren't in the group will not be able to add themselves to your group or see the things that are going on in your particular group. So let us go back to the profile page, and I guess I'll pause here for a moment and see if anybody has questions. And while I am pausing, and I'm going to have a sip of my water. Got to stay hydrated during these things, man. All right, so the next item on the left-hand sidebar menu is the social section. And when you click on that, it opens up a sub-menu, and where you can see who is following you, who you're following, and the stream. The stream is the aggregate of the listings and from your group members. So we'll look at that quickly first, and so you can see. So this again, these are the people that you've chosen to follow. So I know. Let's see who. So Sue Horowitz is, I know, a member of QuantumListing. So I don't think I'm following you yet, Sue. But what I'm going to do is go up here And up here, you can either search by location up here or by individual. And in this case, I'm going to search by individual and look for Sue. Oh, what happened? Okay. So I could send her a chat message if I wanted, but in this case, I'm going to go to her profile and I'm going to click on follow. And probably in a few seconds, Sue, that little green bell on your profile page would light up. And if you clicked on it, it would tell you that I followed you and you give you the option to follow me back. So that is kind of a neat little feature there. And I won't belabor that by going over anybody else's, but you get the point there. And then let's see, what do I want to tell you about next? So actually, I think we're getting close to the end, but we got a couple more things. So the chat feature we talked about briefly. When you are on your site, on your profile, if you see this lit up green, it means that there's a new chat message for you. There also ought to be a notification in the bell up here. But I'll click on the chat icon there, go to the chat menu. We have a few different types of chat, peer-to-peer chats, or if I were just chatting with Sue or any of the rest of you, we would be able to do that. And group chats or the chats within your group, this is how you would market to the people in your group. And let's see, and then there was so group chats, and then expanded group sub chats. So if you're in a group chat and you just want to peel off and chat with one person, that would be a sub chat. And then expanded peer-to-peer chats. If you're starting talking to one person, then you can add another person into that conversation. So that is pretty simple with the chats. And then the next thing, network email blasts. I'm not going to show you that, but basically, if you are part of a network and you would like us to send an email blast on your behalf of one of your listings to your network, we're happy to do that. Over time, if you want to set up your own network, then I would encourage you to get in touch with us, and you can add existing members to your network, and you have more control over how often you send those marketing messages, those email blasts to them. So that's and it's included with your membership. So I would say give it a try. And then the other thing, which is great for you and frankly great for us, is you can invite people who aren't members of QuantumListing to join QuantumListing through that, and then you of course would be able to market to them through that network function as well. So I think that covers everything that we wanted to cover in terms of the social functions. And let's just go back to the slide deck because I want to make sure I got everything. And here's actually what this looks like. You can add a picture, hyperlinks to these messages, and so they're very effective. The other thing that we do, it's not technically a social thing, but since we're all here and chatting with each other, I guess it makes it social. We do have our weekly webinars, which they're a lot more. They're a lot of fun when everybody participates. We've got one coming up in the end of October that should be a lot of fun. With a group of people who have met each other through different real estate, tech, and ICSC functions, International Council Shopping Center functions. So it should be a very lively social gathering. We also have haves and wants online marketing sessions. We do them with a couple of different state associations, like the Massachusetts Association of Commercial Realtors. So that is something we would be happy to work with you on setting up in your market if you have an interest in that. And then the pricing, which is here and on our website also. And of course, if you have questions, go to how it works, schedule a demo, use the intercom button on the bottom right, email us at support@QuantumListing, or give us a call. We truly do enjoy talking with all of our members. And with that, I want to say thank you to Julia for helping prepare today, and thank you to you guys for taking the time to spend with us. I'm going to pause the recording now, so thanks again for being with us.